Rex Carter walked through the long metal corridor of Frontier Colony Vega 9 with slow, tired steps. His boots made soft echoes on the steel floor, and the lights above flickered because of the constant sandstorms outside. He had just finished a 14-hour repair shift in the reactor room, and all he wanted now was a warm drink, a quiet chair, and maybe 5 hours of sleep. Life on Vega 9 was always difficult, but today had been especially hard. A power relay had exploded, 2 drones had crashed, and the colony director had shouted at every engineer. Rex felt like he had carried a whole ship on his back. He reached his quarters and pressed the door panel. The door slid open with a soft hiss. Rex stepped inside without looking up, already reaching for the switch to turn on the lights. But the lights came on by themselves, glowing with an unusual soft blue color. Rex frowned. The lights in his room were white, not blue. He finally looked around the room and froze. In the center of his small living space, right between his chair and his desk, was a large, glowing cocoon. It was as tall as his chest and shaped like a smooth oval with thin silver lines running across the surface. Inside it, something moved, slowly, like it was waking up. Rex's heart jumped in his chest. He took 2 steps back and instinctively reached for the emergency comm on the wall. Before he could touch it, a small crack appeared in the cocoon. A warm, faint sound came from it, almost like a soft hum. Then the cocoon opened like a flower, and a small alien creature stepped out. It was about the size of a human child, with thin arms, smooth, dark skin that reflected the light, and large silver eyes that looked impossibly wise. Her head had delicate crown-like ridges, glowing softly as if they carried their own light. She blinked once, then looked directly at Rex. That was when a sharp alarm sounded outside his quarters. A red light flashed above the door. A message appeared on the wall screen. Temporary guardian assigned, Alien Queen Larkesh. Species, Krillian. Human host quarters selected for security reasons. Rex stared at the screen, then at the alien standing in his room, then back at the screen. "What in the galaxy does that mean?" he whispered. The alien creature tilted her head as if she heard his whisper, not with ears, but with the mind. A soft, gentle voice echoed in Rex's thoughts. It felt like a breeze, soft and curious. "Hello, human." Rex stumbled backward, hitting his chair. The alien blinked again and took a small step toward him. "Do not fear. I am alone. I need shelter." Rex shook his head rapidly. "No, no, no, this can't be real." He rushed to the door, but when he tried to open it, the door stayed locked. Another message flashed. "Quarantine active. Do not exit." Rex pressed the intercom panel. "Control? Director Hale? Someone? There is an alien queen in my quarters. Why is there an alien queen in my quarters?" Only static replied. The small alien walked closer, her movements slow and cautious. She looked at Rex like she was trying to understand him. Her silver eyes were bright and calm. Nothing about her seemed dangerous, yet Rex felt like he was standing next to a bomb. He held up a hand. "Stay there." She stopped immediately. Rex slowly backed away and sat on his bed. His heart was racing, his head spinning. A queen? A Krillian queen? The Krillians were one of the most feared insectoid races in the galaxy. Most humans had never seen one. Humans and Krillians did not talk, did not trade, and definitely did not share living quarters. Why was this happening? After a long moment of silence, the wall screen switched again. A face appeared. Director Hale. His normally calm expression looked tense. "Rex, listen carefully," Hale said. "This is an emergency situation. A diplomatic transport from the Krillian Empire suffered a malfunction. They had no choice but to release the Queen's young form into the safest radiation-shielded room nearby. That room is yours." Rex stared at the screen. "Director, that thing is a royal alien. I'm an engineer, not a babysitter. Why me? Hale sighed. Because your quarters have the strongest shielding, and because the Queen's young form is extremely fragile. She will only survive if kept in a stable environment. Rex, you have to keep her safe for now. Rex opened his mouth to argue, but Hale's face vanished from the screen. The connection ended. The quarantine light stayed red. Rex dropped his face into his hands. This is insane. The alien queen watched him silently. After a moment, she walked forward, but her steps were soft, like she was careful not to scare him. She stopped near his desk and looked at the objects there, a set of tools, some old pictures, and a small plant that Rex kept to remind him of Earth. She touched the plant's leaf gently. Rex watched her. She didn't act like a threat. She acted like a child or maybe a young creature trying to understand the world around her. The soft voice returned in his mind. I sense your fear, but I do not wish to harm you. Rex swallowed. Yeah, well, you being here is still very scary. I understand. She walked closer to him, though she stayed several steps away to respect the space he wanted. She sat on the floor, folding her legs neatly like she'd seen humans do on reports or images. Rex watched her for a long moment. You're really a queen? The alien nodded. I am Larkesh. I am young, but I carry the future of my people. Rex rubbed his eyes. Great. Wonderful. The future of an entire alien empire is sitting on my floor. She blinked again, her silver eyes soft. You shelter me. I am grateful. Rex shook his head. I didn't choose any of this. They just dropped you here. Larkesh tilted her head. Humans care for the young. I thought maybe you would care for me too. Rex felt something twist in his chest. She didn't speak like a monster. She spoke like someone who was lost and scared. He sighed. Look, I'm not your enemy, okay? I'm just confused. The alien queen's glowing ridges dimmed slightly. Rex realized that might be what her species did when they felt sad or uncertain. He stood up, walked slowly to his small storage locker, and took out a blanket. He placed it on the floor near her, but not too close. Larkesh looked at it, then at Rex. Thank you. She wrapped the blanket clumsily around herself. It was strangely endearing. She looked almost peaceful. Rex sat back down on his bed. The room became quiet again. The storm outside howled against the metal walls. But inside, the strange calm returned. Rex finally said softly, You're not dangerous, right? Larkesh looked at him gently. I do not want to hurt anyone. I only want to live. Rex exhaled slowly. Maybe this wouldn't be as terrifying as he first thought. Maybe. As the night went on, Rex watched the young queen fall asleep, wrapped in his blanket, her crown lights glowing faintly like stars. She looked small, vulnerable, and alone. Nothing like the scary stories he had heard about her species. Rex leaned back, staring at the ceiling. He didn't know what tomorrow would bring. The colony was unpredictable, and having an alien queen in his room could attract trouble. Big trouble. But one thing he understood clearly. She needed someone, and right now, that someone was him. Rex sighed again, softer this time. Okay, Larkesh, he said quietly. I'll keep you safe. For now. The alien queen's lights glowed slightly brighter, even in her sleep, as if she heard him through the calm of her dreams. And for the first time since the cocoon opened, Rex felt that maybe, just maybe, he had made the right choice. Morning came slowly on frontier colony Vega 9. The storm outside had calmed, leaving a dusty orange glow over the colony buildings. Inside Rex Carter's small quarters, everything was unusually quiet. Rex woke up from a restless sleep, rubbing his eyes and stretching his sore shoulders. It took him a moment to remember why he felt uneasy. Then he saw the blanket on the floor. Larkesh, the young Krelian queen, was curled up gently inside it. Her silver eyes were closed, and the glowing ridges on her head pulsed softly like a calm heartbeat. Rex sat up on his bed and watched her for a moment. She looked peaceful. He still could not believe that the future ruler of a powerful alien species was sleeping on his floor like a lost child. Rex stood up quietly and walked to his small sink. As he splashed cold water on his face, Larkesh's voice appeared softly in his mind. "You are awake." He turned around. She was sitting up now, holding the blanket around her shoulders like a cape. Her eyes were bright again. "Morning," Rex said awkwardly. "Did you sleep okay?" "Yes," she replied. "Your room feels safe." Rex wasn't sure how to respond to that, so he simply nodded. He grabbed a protein bar and tossed another one toward her. She caught it smoothly with long fingers, then stared at the wrapper curiously. "It's food," Rex said. "You eat it." Larkesh looked unsure. "Humans eat strange things." "Fair, but it'll keep you healthy." She copied his movements as he opened his wrapper. She sniffed the bar, then took a small bite. Her eyes widened in surprise. "This tastes sweet." Rex couldn't help smiling. "Welcome to human nutrition." She continued eating slowly, fascinated by every bite as if it revealed secrets about his species. After breakfast, the quarantine alert turned yellow instead of red. A new message flashed on the screen. "Quarantine update. Restricted movement approved. Escort advised." Rex frowned. "Looks like they're letting us move around. Probably want to monitor you." Larkesh stood up. "You must work today." "Yeah, reactor system repairs. As usual." "I will come with you." Rex blinked. "I don't think that's a good idea. People will panic." Larkesh walked closer, her glowing eyes steady. "They may panic, but I must learn. I must understand humans, and I do not want to be alone." Her voice, calm, honest, almost fragile, made Rex exhale slowly. "Fine," he said, "but stay close. And don't freak people out." "I will try." Rex put on his work jacket and stepped into the hallway. Larkesh followed right behind him, her posture straight and cautious, like she knew every pair of eyes would be on her. As soon as they entered the main corridor, conversation stopped. Workers froze. A scientist dropped his tablet. Two security guards stared with their mouths half open. The entire hallway fell silent, except for the faint humming from Larkesh's glowing ridges. Rex cleared his throat loudly. "Everyone relax. She's with me." One guard whispered, "Is that really a Krelian queen?" Rex answered, "Young form, and she's not dangerous." Larkesh looked around calmly, not showing fear. She nodded gently at the guards. They immediately backed away. Rex walked faster, hoping to avoid more attention. But of course people whispered behind him. "Why is she here? Did the colony assign him as her handler? Is she going to grow into a full queen in his room? Are we safe?" Rex clenched his jaw. He wanted to shout at them, tell them to stop staring, but he knew that would make things worse. When they entered the engineering bay, Rex finally relaxed a little. He felt at home here. Tools, wires, drones, consoles everywhere. The other engineers stared nervously but didn't scream, which was an improvement. Larkesh walked to a table full of circuit boards. She picked one up gently and examined it with surprising intelligence. "You know what that is?" Rex asked, half joking. She nodded. "Your machines use patterns. Energy flows when paths are correct. This one is broken." Rex blinked. "Well, yeah. We were having trouble with that piece." Larkesh held the board in one hand and lightly touched a broken connection with her other hand. A faint glow appeared at her fingertips. The metal shifted, almost melted, then reformed into a perfect shape. Rex's mouth slowly fell open. Larkesh handed the board to him. It is repaired. He tested it with a scanner. It showed perfect readings. Rex stared at her. How did you do that? My species controls energy and structure at small scales, she explained calmly. It is natural. For the first time, the engineers didn't look afraid. They looked impressed. One whispered, She just fixed a unit that took 3 of us 2 days to fail at. Another said, She's more useful than half our tools. Larkesh looked confused. Useful? Rex smiled. That means you helped. A lot. Her ridges glowed slightly brighter. I like helping. Throughout the morning, Larkesh assisted Rex in his work. She analyzed circuits faster than any human device. She adjusted drone motors with gentle movements. She even predicted an engine failure before the sensors did. The engineers began relaxing around her. One even asked her a question about Krillian technology. She answered politely. Slowly, the fear in the room turned into curiosity. But outside the engineering bay, not everyone felt the same way. Rumors spread quickly through the colony. Some people called Rex a hero for caring for her. Some called him insane. Some said he was training an alien weapon. When Rex and Larkesh returned to his quarters for lunch, a small crowd had gathered near the hallway. They didn't block the way, but their faces were filled with worry. A man shouted, Why is she here? She could attack us. Rex stepped in front of Larkesh. She didn't attack anyone, she helped. Another person called out, Maybe for now, but what happens when she grows? Krylians hate humans. Larkesh lowered her head slightly, hurt. Rex glared at the crowd. She's not like that, and she's protected us even more than some humans here. But the crowd didn't fully believe him. Larkesh spoke gently, her mental voice reaching them. I am not here to harm. I only want safety. I only want peace. The crowd quieted, unsure how to react. Rex guided her through them and into his quarters. Larkesh sat on his chair, her ridges dimmed with sadness. They fear me, she said. Rex sat on the bed across from her. They just don't understand you yet. My people also do not understand humans, she admitted. But I want to learn. You have kindness. You give shelter to one who is alone. Rex rubbed the back of his neck. Yeah, well, I guess we're both stuck with each other. Larkesh stood and walked toward him. Her eyes were steady, wise. I trust you, Rex Carter. Before Rex could respond, the wall screen suddenly activated. The colony director's face appeared again, but this time his expression was more serious than before. Rex, brace yourself, Director Hale said. A Krylian diplomatic vessel is arriving. They want the Queen returned immediately. Rex felt his stomach twist. Larkesh's ridges dimmed to a cold, worried glow. They cannot take me, she whispered. I do not trust them. I trust you. Rex stared at her, completely torn. Larkesh, I don't know if I can stop them. She stepped closer, eyes shining. Then stand with me. Just then, the floor trembled. The alarm turned red again. Incoming alien docking, diplomatic priority. Rex felt the air grow heavy. The Krillians were here, and they were not going to ask politely. He clenched his fists, placing himself between Larkesh and the door. I'm not letting anyone take you by force, he said. Larkesh's silver eyes glowed brighter, filled with trust. Then we faced them together. The air inside Rex Carter's quarters felt heavy, almost tight, as if the room understood the danger approaching. A deep vibration moved through the walls, slow at first, then stronger, signaling that a large ship had docked with the colony. Rex and Larkesh both stood completely still. The young queen's ridges glowed a faint silver, the color of nervous caution. Rex looked toward the door and whispered, They're here. Larkesh nodded slowly. The diplomatic vessel. They will take me if they can. Rex clenched his jaw. Let's hope they want to talk first. But in his heart, he doubted that peaceful conversation was the Krylian way, especially when a queen was involved. Minutes later, the door panel flashed with a priority override, and the door slid open. 3 tall Krylian envoys stepped inside. They looked much older and more developed than Larkesh. Their bodies were covered in smooth armored plates, their eyes bright and sharp, and their movements elegant but intimidating. Each carried a staff with glowing blue symbols. The lead envoy bowed slightly toward Larkesh. "Young Queen Larkesh," he said in a deep, resonant voice, "we have come to return you to your rightful place." Larkesh stood straight. "You left me alone in a damaged pod." The envoy's eyes flickered. "The pod malfunctioned. It was not intentional." Rex stepped between them. "She's safe here, and she doesn't want to go." The envoys turned their eyes to him slowly, as if only now noticing he existed. Their expressions were unreadable. "Human," the leader said, "you misunderstand. The queen does not choose. Her people choose for her." Larkesh's ridges brightened sharply, a sign of anger. "I do choose." The second envoy stepped forward. "Your mind is young. You cannot understand the weight of ruling our kind." Rex stepped closer. "She understands more than you think, and she saved this colony today. She helped everyone." The first envoy lifted his staff slightly. "Your kindness is noted, but she belongs with us." Rex's heartbeat quickened. "She stays here." A long silence filled the room. Then the envoy spoke with finality. "If you stand between us and the Queen, you stand against our empire." Rex took a deep breath. "Then I guess I'm standing against your empire." The envoys looked offended, almost shocked that a simple human engineer would speak like that. But before anything could happen, a sudden alarm echoed through the colony, one that none of them expected. A sharp, pulsing siren. Warning lights across the walls flashed crimson. "Warning! Unidentified drone swarm approaching. All colonists report to defense positions." Rex felt the floor tremble underneath his boots. Larkesh's eyes widened in fear. "The rogue swarm," she whispered. Rex turned to her. "You know them?" She nodded. "Exiles. Rebels. They do not want a peaceful queen. They will destroy anything to stop me." The envoy leader's expression changed instantly. His ridges brightened in alarm. "They followed your energy signal here." The entire colony shook as something massive crashed into the outer barriers. Rex ran to the door. "We need to get to the main shield room." The envoy blocked him. "We will protect the queen." "Humans should hide." Rex shoved past him. "I'm not hiding while my home is under attack." Larkesh ran to Rex's side. "I stand with him." The envoys exchanged glances but followed quickly. Even they knew a rogue swarm was a threat to all life, not just humans. As the group ran through the hallways, colonists rushed past in panic. Emergency drones flew overhead, and engineers scrambled to seal doors. The sound of distant impacts filled the air. When Rex and Larkesh reached the central observation room, a massive screen showed the sky outside. Hundreds of black insect-like machines swarmed around the colony shield, firing beams that made the shield flash dangerously. A guard looked at Rex desperately. "The shield is failing. We need 10 more minutes to recharge the power cells." Rex looked at Larkesh. "Can you help?" She stared at the screen, her eyes filled with fear, but also determination. "I can boost the power, but I must link with your systems. It will be painful." Rex grabbed her shoulders gently. "You don't have to." "I must." She walked to the central power console. The envoys tried to stop her. "You cannot connect with human systems. It is too unstable." Larkesh ignored them. She placed her hands on the glowing interface, and her ridges flared to bright silver white. Instantly, a surge of energy rippled through the colony. The lights flickered. The shield glowed brighter. Power readings jumped higher than they had in months. But the rogue swarm adjusted quickly. They slammed harder into the barrier, and cracks of energy began spreading across the shield's surface. Rex ran to a panel. "The generators are overheating!" The leading envoy shouted. "Queen Larkesh, disengage!" "No," she whispered, her voice filled with strain. "I will not let them die." Rex turned to the engineers behind him. "We need to reinforce the secondary regulators. Move!" Several humans followed him, trusting his lead. The envoys watched, surprised by how fast humans reacted under pressure. Rex crawled under the main console with 3 other engineers. Sparks flew. Heat radiated dangerously. Sweat ran down his face as he connected loose wires, rerouted circuits, and shouted instructions. "Give me the power coupler. Seal the vent. Keep the pressure stable." The colony shook again as a swarm of rogue drones broke through the outer airlock. Soldiers fired at them in the hallways. Screams echoed through the communication lines. An engineer shouted from above, "Rex, we can't hold them back!" Rex grabbed a welding tool and rolled out from under the console. "Then we defend the Queen!" He stood in front of Larkesh, who was struggling to stay conscious as she poured energy into the shield. The envoys finally stepped forward, forming a protective arc around her, but several rogue drones broke through the doors, flying toward the Queen with deadly speed. Rex grabbed a fallen guard's pulse rifle. He had only fired one once in training, but he didn't care. He aimed and fired. The blast hit a drone dead on, sending it crashing into the wall. Another drone swooped toward him, and he ducked as the envoy struck it down with a glowing staff. More drones poured in. Humans and Krillians fought side by side. For the first time, Larkesh's glow intensified. Her voice echoed inside Rex's mind. "Rex, I cannot hold much longer." He turned toward her. She was shaking, her eyes dimming, her body losing strength. "Just a little more," he shouted. "We're almost there." Another roar shook the colony as the rogue swarm unleashed a final massive attack on the shield. Larkesh screamed, not out loud, but mentally. A shockwave of psychic energy burst outward from her. Every drone inside the colony froze in the air, their lights flickering. Then, every rogue drone dropped to the floor, completely disabled. The battlefield went silent. The shield stabilized, and Larkesh collapsed. Rex dropped the rifle and rushed to her side. He caught her just before she hit the floor, cradling her weak form in his arms. "Larkesh! Hey, stay awake!" Her eyes flickered open faintly. "Rex, did we save them?" Rex's voice broke. "Yeah, you saved everyone." The envoy leader stepped forward slowly. For the first time, respect shone in his eyes. "Her sacrifice was extraordinary. She bears the true mark of a queen." Rex glared at him. "She needs medical help, now." The envoy nodded. "We will do all we can to heal her." But Larkesh whispered weakly, "I want to stay with humans." Then her eyes closed completely. Rex lifted her gently in his arms. No matter what happened next, one thing was clear. He would not let her die. He would not let anyone take her. He would protect her, because humans don't back down. The next morning arrived with a soft silver glow spreading through Ryan Station's sky dome. The air felt different, calmer, warmer, like the colony itself was holding its breath. Aaron stood on the main balcony overlooking the landing fields, where hundreds of colonists had gathered. Some people looked nervous, some hopeful, and some simply confused. But they were all staring at the same thing. The Zirkalan fleet had arrived. 3 massive organic ships hung silently above the station. Their hulls pulsed like living hearts, and their wings shimmered like the scales of deep-sea creatures. None of them powered weapons. None of them launched soldiers. They simply waited. Aaron knew why. They were waiting for the Queen. He felt Zara approaching even before she reached the balcony. Her footsteps were soft, but her presence always brought a gentle shift in the air, like gravity bending in a new direction. Zara stepped beside him, her silver eyes reflecting the sky dome. "Today we choose a path," Zara said quietly. "Your people and mine." Aaron nodded. "And we choose it together." Below them, Administrator Halen walked to the front platform. His voice echoed through every speaker across the colony. "Citizens of Ryan Station," he said, "we stand at the edge of something new. The Zirkalan people arrived not as conquerors, but as partners, and as proof of that, Queen Zara stands with us. Today, we show them who we are." Then Halen stepped back and gestured for Aaron. It was time. Aaron swallowed hard. He wasn't a soldier, a leader, or a politician. He was just an engineer who lived in a tiny compartment with tools, spare parts, and a queen who had fallen into his life like an asteroid. And yet somehow everyone expected him to speak as if he understood the weight of two civilizations. Zara touched his shoulder lightly. "You are enough," she whispered. So Aaron walked forward. He looked out at the colony, families, scientists, traders, children perched on shoulders, workers still wearing mining gear, and he realized something. He wasn't alone. He never had been. "People of Ryan Station," he began, his voice steady, "you all know how this started. A queen was left in my quarters, by accident, or fate, and suddenly everyone said she was my responsibility." Some people laughed quietly. Aaron smiled too. But what happened after that changed everything. We learned that we don't have to fear what we don't know. We learned that the Zirkalan are not our enemies. And Zara, she learned that humans are not as chaotic and weak as the galaxy believes. He glanced at Zara, who nodded proudly. "Today," Aaron continued, "we show the fleet that we stand with her. We don't surrender. We don't bow. We don't hide. We stand beside her as allies, as partners, and as friends." A wave of cheers rose from the colonists. Even those who had been afraid now saw something real. Unity. Zara stepped forward. Her voice carried a soft echo, like music woven with command. "Zirkalan fleet," she said, facing the sky. "I stand here by choice. I choose this colony, this future, and this alliance. Any who challenge this decision challenge their queen." The massive ships shifted in perfect formation, acknowledging her. And then the central vessel opened. A long, shimmering bridge extended downward from the ship, lowering a group of Zirkalan elites. They landed with graceful steps, armor made of living chitin, spears glowing with bioenergy. The crowd tensed. Aaron felt his heartbeat hammer. A tall figure stepped forward. His dark crest and golden markings identified him as a high marshal, Zirkalan military leader. His eyes were sharp, powerful, and unreadable. "Queen Zara," the high marshal said, "we sensed your awakening. We came for you." "Then you came late," Zara replied calmly. "I have already chosen my path." The high marshal's gaze shifted toward Aaron. "And you choose him, a human?" Zara lifted her chin. "Yes." Murmurs spread through both species. The high marshal narrowed his eyes. "You are bound by instinct to protect your hive and your future offspring," he said. "Humans cannot give you that future." Aaron felt his stomach twist. Even he knew Zara's species bonded only with their chosen guards, the ones they trusted beyond survival. But Zara's response surprised everyone. "A queen's bond," she said, "is not only for survival, it is for meaning." The high marshal hesitated. Zara continued, "Our people stood strong for centuries, but strength without understanding becomes isolation. Aaron gave me something no soldier ever could: perspective. He showed me that life is not just about survival. It is about purpose." The High Marshal looked at Arin with new curiosity. So this human changed a queen? Yes, she said softly, and I choose to walk with him. The silence that followed felt heavy and electric. Every colonist watched. Every Zirkalan warrior waited. Finally, the High Marshal bowed his head. Then the fleet recognizes your choice, he said, and your alliance with the humans stands. The entire colony erupted with cheers. Relieved laughter spread through the crowd. Children waved flags. Some colonists wiped tears from their eyes. Others hugged each other in disbelief. Arin let out a long breath he didn't know he was holding. Zara turned to him with a gentle smile. We did it. No, Arin said. You did it. I just held my breath the entire time. She laughed softly, a musical sound that always made him feel lighter. But the moment wasn't over yet. The High Marshal stepped closer to Arin. Human, he said, you have protected our queen, guided her, and earned her trust. According to our customs, you now hold a place of honor among us. Arin blinked. Honor? Me? Zara nodded. It is rare, very rare. The High Marshal placed a glowing insignia, a living crest, on Arin's wrist. The small creature attached itself gently, like a warm bracelet. With this, the High Marshal said, the Zirkalan recognize you as a guardian of the Queen. Arin stared at the crest. Does it bite? Only if you betray her, the High Marshal said calmly. Arin froze. Then Zara leaned closer. He is joking. The High Marshal was not joking, but Arin decided not to think too hard about that. The ceremony ended with both sides exchanging words, gestures, and promises. The Zirkalan ships adjusted their positions, sending organic drones to assist the colony, transport carriers, repair swarms, medical pods. Joint work crews began forming instantly. For the first time, humans and Zirkalan worked side by side, not by force, not by fear, but by choice. Later that evening, Arin and Zara stood on the observation deck, watching the stars through the transparent ceiling. Zara spoke first. Today was important. For my people, for yours, for us. Arin nodded. We started something new, something big. She looked at him with calm confidence. You once told me humans do their best work when responsibility surprises them. Arin chuckled. I also said I hate surprises. Yet you handle them well? Well, I had good help. They stood in comfortable silence for a moment, watching the ships drifting above the dome like giant glowing whales. Then Zara stepped a little closer. Arin, she said softly, do you regret that I was placed in your quarters? Arin thought back to the chaos, the confusion, the danger, the sleepless nights, and then to the moments of growth, the strange friendship, and the connection neither of them expected. He shook his head. No, not even a little. Zara's eyes softened. Then let this be our beginning. Arin smiled. Yeah, our beginning. And as the stars shimmered across the night sky, the colony of Ryan Station entered a new age, an age where humanity stood tall, not because they were strongest, but because they were willing to face the unknown and make it their own. A queen had been left in his quarters by accident, but together they built something that would shape two worlds,